I listened to the intro to your podcast, and I think it is awesome.
Oh, it's dope, man.
Yeah, you know, the beat is dope, but the lyrics are super shining because it speaks to my heart and it speaks to all producers that are really into production. So kudos on a great intro.
1, 2, yeah. Come on, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, sir, you are tuned in. This is for the SB1200, ASR 10s and NPC heroes. This is for the crate digging, loop getting, sound manipulators, the Fruity Loop reasoning machine innovators that pump the bass and frequently freak the kick in a stand till it slaps in your speakers. The sound providers that make sure the song is tight. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live.
Welcome to the Beats Grinding Life podcast with your host Siren, a weekly interview podcast with inspiring music producers, where every week you will learn from a different music producer how to potentially take your music career to the next level.
Today's episode of Beats Grinding Life is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio download and 30-day free trial at beatsbooks.com. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Some recommended readings by past Beats Grinding Life guests like 48 Laws of Power, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Secret, Tools of Titans, and The Song Machine are all available with Audible. Once again, go to beatsbooks.com to get your free book. What's up, Beat Grinders? This is another episode of Beats Grinding Life. I'm your host, Siren Beats, and we are back with another episode of the best of. Yes, I promised you guys that we would have another episode, and I know that it's taken a while. I just had to take some time off for some personal issues, and not only that, but these episodes take a very, very long time. But enough with that, enough with the excuses. I'm back. I have part 2 for you guys, and this week we have episodes 21 through 40. Yo, you guys are definitely in for a treat. We got some awesome guests in here. We got producers like the homie Fouché, the homie Flip Jackson, Nate and Charity, super producer Sound Oracle, 14KT. It's just too many to list. But man, we're just gonna hop right in because there's just so much on here. First off, we're gonna start how we always start on Beats Grinding Life. How did people get into music production? This should be pretty cool. We got 14KT, Relevant Beats, Nocturne. So yeah, you guys just check it out. All right, here we go.
It was like maybe 10 years ago when I have a sister. Mm-hmm. And she had a lot of friends of rappers, breakdancers, graffiti artists. And I was like 11 or 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And she listening to the music, she listening to hip hop, and she wanted me to draw on the walls. She wanted me to be a graffiti writer. Uh-huh. And I was painting graffiti and listening to hip hop and painting graffiti. Mm-hmm. And maybe in that time I realized that I want some more. I don't want only paint on walls, and I want to do something special. So I listened to a lot of music. I started to listen to Tupac, Biggie, Snoop, Redman, and at that time I don't think like I can music too. It was like, man, it's really good beats, it's a vibe, it's groove, it's cool, but how can I learn it? Because I have no friends who makes music.
Right.
I have no internet. I had no computer. I had nothing.
Right.
only cassettes. So it took about 5 years. I remember in high school, my friend bought a software. I don't remember the name of it, but we trying to make something in this program. Mm-hmm. It was maybe AJ. We started to try and do something.
Nice.
And I remember the first beat when we take samples and put it together, and oh yes, we are producers. We are producers. We back to the school, and we were so cool because me and my friend was like Dre and Yella, and we were very cool.
When I started with my group, I actually started on what they call pause tapes, where I was just using the dual tape decks, the double tape decks, and I would just dub tapes, and like I'll take a break from a record, put it on the tape, take a sample from the record, put it on the tape, just keep dubbing them and looping them, and then I would take that to the studio and we would just rap on it.
Dope. Okay.
So that's what I started with, was just a cassette deck.
Man, honestly, before I even started making beats, I was always on some music shit. Like, I used to rap, like, for real. I was a Christian rapper as a teenager, Christian rapper. Okay. And then even after that or whatever, I was just freestyle all the time. Like, me and my dudes, like, we had some classic sessions in my car. We used to drink Old English, chilling 40s or whatever, and we would just go bars. Like, me and my nigga Drew, we had bars, so we would just go at it, just having fun with it, man. Like, really some classic sessions, like, for real, I could spit. But I'm not gonna do that today. But I got to the point, like, I got maybe I was like my 20s or whatever, and I was watching, I think, like, MTV Cribs, and they were showing I think it was RZA on there. Or maybe it wasn't even MTV Cribs. Some show RZA was on, and he went to his studio room, and he had the Korg Triton in there. So that's how you know I've been doing it for a minute. It was like hardware was still like, you had to have hardware. You had software. Niggas was like, what the fuck is you doing?
Right.
You know, it's Fruity Loops. What the fuck is that?
Right.
Fruity, like you tell a thing these niggas the word fruity. Right?
Don't want to be associated with nothing of that fruity.
Yeah, like you might get smacked in the conversation.
Right.
Yeah, that era. So, you know, it was like, they pulled the Korg Triton out, and I was like, damn, this nigga did all these Wu-Tang joints like on this, and then I started doing research. I'm like, no, he ain't just do it just that. And then I found out about ASR 10 and, you know, all the stuff that other producers were using. I was like, yo, this shit is like an art form. Like, you really have to do this. And then I started reading like even Scratch Magazine at the time.
Dope.
Shout out Scratch Magazine. That shit was the illest when it existed, man. I wish it didn't get commercialized and bought out. Like that hurt me.
Right.
You know, but I learned so much from reading that. But so at that point I was like, man, I'm gonna do this. I saved up my money while all my niggas was out going to the club, buying sneakers, popping bottles. I was saving my money, man. I saved up. I bought a Motif ES6, the ES6 joint from Yamaha.
Okay.
And I just making keyboard beats, man. That's how I got started. I just did it, man. Like, niggas was looking at me like a weirdo at the time. Because now it's trendy to make beats.
Right.
Like, back then, if you were making beats, it was like, it didn't make sense. They don't even know what you was fucking saying. You said, I made beats. They're like, what does that mean?
Yeah, right? Who you beating?
Which person? They're like, they don't know that.
Right.
You know? I would lock myself in the house and wouldn't show out for days. Like, I'd be gone for 5-6 days at a time, and niggas was throwing low-key shade like, oh, I always make time for my friends. I'm like, oh, now we not friends because I'm But I found something I loved, man. You know how it is, like, new love, new girlfriend or something, right? Like, y'all spend a lot of time together. Like, I found something I love, man. So that was it for me.
All right, so that was the start of how these producers got into the game, and I just like those answers because, you know, they vary. You know, you got Nocturne all the way into Ukraine, you got 14KT in close to the Detroit area, you got Relevant Beats in New York. They all come from different parts of the world, but, you know, they all had that love for hip hop, and they were all called to music production. So, you know, and I think that story kind of resonates with all of us. You know, I felt like I was a part of each and every one of those stories, and I'm sure that you guys could relate to each and every one of those as well. So, all right, man. Well, next up is one of my favorite parts of Beats Grinding Life. Maybe not everybody else's, but next up is the setbacks. And why I like it, man, is because we all have setbacks, and it's tough to deal with. But it's something that we got to deal with. It's a necessary evil. So you guys just check out what Fouché has to say about it. Cadence, Big Kid, and Sound Junkie.
Well, I mean, one of them was definitely. It was about. It was a little over a year ago. I had an apartment in Jersey actually, and. I had just gotten I had a laptop that, I had all my music on. It was about 5 years worth of music. And, I came back from work and my house was broken into. And I mean, I had tons of different things. I had camera equipment, everything, you could possibly have in that apartment. But the only thing that was taken was my laptop.
Are you kidding?
So,
wow.
Yeah. So, over that, like it was really devastating for me because, I didn't have anything backed up. So like everything that I had for the past 5 years was gone.
Right.
And, that in itself was like, it was like, how do I even continue? Like, I don't even have the money to do a laptop. And you got to understand with me, I write and record every day.
Right.
Like there's not a day that I'm not doing something. So, the fact that I couldn't do that for a month, like up until it was the hardest thing like I ever had it. So honestly, what I learned from that was one, back up everything. but also, you really have to like keep an eye on the people that you bring around you because, someone knew where my laptop was.
Right.
Someone knew what was in that room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For them to take, it was.
It had to be an inside job for them to only take the laptop and nothing else valuable.
Yeah, and so I know that was like, an envious move on, someone's part that did that, but, overall, like I said, I just make sure that the people around me now are good people that I can trust.
Awesome.
And, I can't just let anybody into my circle. It's just, as much as I would love to do that, it's just, you just got to be smart about it because you don't know people's intentions,
Honestly, as far as like last year, I would say, last year, I would say, I lost all of my sounds. Like I didn't even save my sounds to anywhere but on an external hard drive. It was a rookie move, I know. But the hard drive gave out, it blew out on me. And then from there, I was just like stuck, like, oh, what am I going to do? So, I kind of like felt like giving up from there, man. Like, man, this is whatever.
Right.
But, just talking to my wife though, man, she just encouraged me, like, just to go back at it, just do what you can. So I started, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna use just the built-in sounds of FL Studio and make it happen, make some beats.
Dope.
And then I made some nice stuff, man, some nice stuff from there. And actually around that same time, that's when Illmind had announced that what was that? The Black Kid Volume 7 beat contest. So I'm like, okay, I need some sounds anyway. Might as well go ahead and just get these sounds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, all right, let me just go ahead and enter into this contest, and then, but from there, just that setback, or what looked like a setback, was kind of like a setup, for me to, be here, what I'm saying? So I would say that'll be one right there.
Yes, yeah. It was actually not too long ago. It was like, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, or about a month or a month and a half ago. But when I moved here to LA, to me, it was just a setback because basically it was like an Ableton workshop hosted by 1500 or Nothing.
Okay.
Shout.
Yeah, they are.
So yeah, I was at this Ableton workshop, and I actually carry around with me little USB sticks with my beat. So and I'll do that still. So when if I see someone, whether it's a producer or whether it's whoever, then I can give them a USB stick with my music on it. You know, as a networking, it's a networking thing.
Right.
So I was at this Ableton workshop, and I'd never met no one, right? I've met Ill Mind, but apart from that, I ain't met no one. And I'm sitting there in the workshop, like waiting for it to start, and suddenly like S1, DJ Battlecat, Rance from 50 Nothing, like Von Beats obviously with S1, and then a couple of producers like all walking at the same time, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow, like that's dope. Like DJ Battlecat was sitting like 2 seats next to me. I was like, this is crazy. And we were like, and they did like the workshop, and then the workshop finished, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go give them my USB sticks. I'm gonna go give them my USB sticks with my music on it. And I was like, shit, it's my opportunity, you know, it's my big opportunity to connect and, you know, get started here in LA. And then before I knew it, like I was too slow, they all bounced. They were gone, like they were all going to a studio session together or some shit. So I was waiting, and I had the opportunity, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait till the perfect opportunity.
Right.
And they bounced, and I was like, I didn't want to be rude, I didn't want to run after them, so I was like, oh shit. And I was like, fuck, like that's my opportunity. Gone, like seriously.
Right.
Like, got back in the car with my dad, and my dad was like, how was it? I was like, man, I didn't want to talk. I was like, fuck, like I just missed my opportunity. I could have given out so much of my music, like fuck. And then we're driving back, and then I'm like, I don't usually like just scroll through my Instagram randomly, but I was pissed off and I was just quiet as fuck. So I got my phone out, I was just scrolling, and I started scrolling through Instagram, and then I actually saw 2 days later there was another like panel with Dem Joints, Pop 1Zel, Cook Classics, like all these producers at it, and I was like, wow. I was like, shit. I was like, this is in 2 days, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna make sure they get my fucking music.
Dope.
So that's kind of how I bounced back. 2 days later, the first lesson showed me that you can't wait for the perfect opportunity. You got to create the perfect opportunity.
Right. Excellent.
You know? So you kind of have to force it, right? Without being rude, of course. So literally, I got to there. It was a Wednesday. I got there. Dem Joints, all these guys came out. I went straight up to them, and I was like, yo, I'm a producer. I'm a 16-year-old producer from the UK. At the time, I was 16. I'm a 16-year-old producer from the UK. Here's my music. Bam, bam, bam. And the next day, like Cook Classics hit me up. He's a dope producer. Shout out to Cook Classics. He's like produced for like Beyonce, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, Kevin Gates, all them people. He hit me up the next day. Was like, come through the studio, blah blah blah. So that's how my relationship with him started. So really, what I took from it was, like God or whoever will put an obstacle in your way just because there's a better thing behind it.
Right.
You know,
right.
So I feel like I kind of fucked up on purpose on the first day at the workshop. I fucked up on purpose. So then I saw on Wednesday there was something, and there I made the connection. There I made sure that they were getting my music. So, you know what I mean? It seems like the best things come at the worst times. Like when you think it's over, when you think it's at its worst point, that's really when the best things come.
Bro, like my middle name is Setback. Listen, like real shit. Like I want to say within these past 2 years have been like, I tell my friends all the time, like these past 2 years have been like simultaneously the worst and the best years of my life, because it's been repeated setback after setback after setback. Like I've taken like, you know, numerous L's, you know, these past 2 years, but. Every time I took an L, it's kind of like I bounced back right from it. Like and another thing about this thing is I used to be super by myself and in my little box, but I have now like a really dope support group, you know, or friend, you know, group of friends, right? That, you know, make sure that, you know, I have a goal, and they going, you know, some of them are like, you know, we're gonna help you out, and others like you ain't got no choice, like you got to get there. So But I want to say the major setback that kind of like just had me like, bro, I'm done. Like, I went to A3C, had a ball, had some dope situations lined up. Everything was great. I come home, Uber drops me off in front of my house. I walk to the corner because I need to go grab my keys and my house is like, I want to say like 3 or 4 houses from the corner.
Okay.
And I live in the northeast Philly, so it's a pretty decent area of the city if you're not familiar. But I call my brother and I'm like, yo, open the door. I got my bags out here. As you know, I'm lying. He called me as I was walking away from the house because I called somebody else to grab the keys. And so I'm like, yo, my bags are on the porch. I'm going to grab the keys and I'm coming back, but just grab my bags. So I get back to the house and my brother's an asshole. Like, he plays a lot. Like, that's just how we are. And so I'm like, where's my bags at? 'Cause I'm like, I'm super amped. I'm ready to get back to work. Like,
right.
I was just in Atlanta. Like, I'm inspired. I just left my homie Jay Austin. Shout out to my man Jay Austin out in Atlanta. But I had just left him after he just did a retarded show, and everybody in the show I was ready to go. So I'm like, bro, where's my bags at? I'm ready to go. And he's like, no, your bag's in here. And I'm like, all right, not right now. I don't feel like playing right now. Give me my fucking bag so I can. He was like, no, I'm dead serious. Your bags weren't on the porch. Somebody within the span of like 20 seconds took all my bags, bro. Everything. And I don't know why, but I brought my backup hard drive too. So like everything that I made from everything was gone. Everything. And after that, I was like, I must have been in shock because he wanted to get in the car and drive around and and I was like, fuck it. Like, I want to go home and smoke a blunt at this point. Like, let's go. I was so done. And then I want to say maybe like a week later, like, bro, I broke down and cried because it's like everything, like this production, like is rough. Like it's not, it's not as cool as people think this shit is. Like I do it because I love it, but this shit is rough. So
yeah, it is.
All the work that you feel like is going to change your life is on these hard drives. I had situations set up. I had albums that I had to finish. Like everything was gone, bro. Everything. So I got a homie here in Philly who was just like, bro, I'm gonna just put together what's the crowd surfer thing? I forgot the name of the thing, but he was like, I'm gonna put up a page for you. And he was like, I'm gonna see if I can, we can try to raise the money and get in. And sure enough, in about 2 weeks, they, got the money together and got my stuff back. I had all new equipment. I had my man B-Boy Tech Report. He had sent me a bunch of, hardware to play around with. Okay. I had a bunch of sound designers because I do sound design as well. I had a bunch of sound designers. All the guys from the Drum Broker, MSX, Illmind, like nice. S1, all those guys, like they all just like flooded my inbox with like a bunch of sounds that I could
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah, man, and that situation kind of led to other like possible placement situations happening. So.
All right, that was setbacks. A lot of gems in there. A lot of gems. We all deal with the setbacks, but I think what was the most important thing was how all these people bounced back from them. We heard Big Kid. He learned from his lesson. Sound Junkie. He was able to reach out to the people that he knew for support. Fouché was able to lean on support from his wife, and that move. Same with Cadence. All right, well, next up is Typical Day. I think that's pretty important. That's one of the most important parts, is just to hear how these successful producers are setting up their day. That way we can set up our days just like they do. Success leaves clues, so you guys check out, listen to hear what they're doing throughout the day, and maybe you can incorporate that into your schedule. Here we go.
Nice. Some days it'll be get up and play Office, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or some days it'll be get up and create, you know what I mean? But, I usually start my day off depending on where I'm at and what needs to get done. I put on something inspiring, man. You know what I mean? I'll feed the mind, get me, you know, keep me on the right track and focus. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not on social media going through the feed looking at everybody else. I'm throwing on some like inspiring people. You know what I mean? On YouTube or something, and motivational this or something like Tony Robbins or even like Gary Vee or somebody like, you know, is doing and got their thing together to inspire me to stay focused. Dope. And then you know, when it's time to create, I put on some old music that inspires me. You know, one of the things that, especially when I'm working with an artist or a project, you know, I don't listen to the radio. I will listen to like all the older music that will inspire me to get in that good space and absorb that. You know what I mean? You know, and all types of music. Because if you're doing music, whether it's hip hop, R&B, or whatever, you gotta listen to all types of music and absorb that, because you will translate it in your own way. You know what I mean? So I'll get up and I always make sure I feed myself with some real nutrition mentally. You know what I mean? And then I'll go into, all right, what's the task of the day? Do I gotta get this, you know, assignment done, or get this project done, or make sure I get this meeting done, or do I gotta get this song done, this track done, whatever? And then I just get at it, man. Just do it, man. Just do it.
First off, you know, I have a huge whiteboard hanging in my studio, and I have literally like a daily regimen of what I have to do, planned out for the entire month. And even like maybe a couple months in advance, I have stuff planned, written down, so I know what I got to do, as well as goals I want to accomplish on the side as well. But a typical day for me, you know, I wake up fairly early. Like today, I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. You know, I prayed, you know, got a shower, you know, got cleaned up and all that. Then I check all my emails of what I get, you know, from collaborations, music business, you know, anything of that nature, reply to those. And then I kind of just look see what I have on the agenda for today, what records I need to finish up, what's priority, you know, that I need to finish first, and what deadlines I have. And then pretty much I just work for pretty much a majority of the day, at least a good 4 to 5 hours, and I take a break, and then I'll hop back in it. And that's pretty much my day. And I'm doing that until usually about 3 o'clock in the morning, usually. And then I repeat the process.
Dope, man. Dope. I like hearing that, man. You got your goals. You got you got everything written down on the whiteboard, man. You sound very organized. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. You got to. Are there any daily regimens that you have? Is there anything like lessons or anything like that?
Musically, since I'm a musician, I play instruments as well. Like, I like to take some time to actually practice some of those too. So, like, not all the time when I'm in the studio am I working on records. It could be times where I'm just on the keyboard and I'm practicing scales. You know, or I could be, you know, working on, or even not even music related in the instrumental side. I could be just in the studio researching marketing ideas, you know, and promo. You know, the business side of things. So, I mean, it kind of really depends, but I always try to set time aside and do both of those at least, you know, every day, you know, at least for a certain amount of time.
For me, like, for, you know, back to your question, how can I say? For me, like, after work, it'd just be like back in the whip, listen to beats, listen to some other stuff till I get to my crib or go to the lab to work on stuff. And now I just bang out from there, you know.
Is it a true 9 to 5, or do you have different hours?
What happened?
Is it a true 9 to 5? Like, I mean, what are your hours? Is it 9 to 5, or is it?
My hours is all over the place.
Okay.
I work for an electric company. People probably heard of it, Con Edison. Okay. So I usually work rotating shifts. You know, so it's like the times that I do have off, you know, I'm actually either creating or, you know, handling family business or whatever the case may be. But you know, my thing is this, you know, everybody has their own 24 hours.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's how you the 24 hours that matter.
That's so true, man. That is so true.
Because you and I got the same time. You feel me?
Yep.
Like you and I have the same time. We have the same 24 hours. Is what you do with it that basically gets you through, you know? Like I got to fit in an hour to make beats.
Right.
If that's the case, then that's what I need to do.
Right. Yeah, man. Like you said, we all got the same 24. So, you know, if people are saying they don't got time to make beats, or, you know, that's their choice, pretty much. I mean,
right. Basically, make time what you want to make time for. You know, whether it's that, relationships.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's something I've learned, and I'm still learning that to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to make that time for what's important to you.
Dope. Yep. Time management, man.
Yep. Time management is very important. That and consistency.
Honestly, my routine as of right now is kind of loose at best.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in a transition from, you know, getting out of work. Like I just put in my 2 weeks at, you know, I was frying chicken at Zaxby's, but you know, I was done making $7.50 an hour, and yeah, I have a few days left there. But once I'm done there, it's just going to be complete grinding on music.
Dope.
But okay, so right now I usually wake up around 8 or 9, which I should be going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. That's how I function best. But that's what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I usually take a coffee run. It's only like there's a coffee shop like a mile down, so I got to have that caffeine kick in the beginning of the day.
Yep.
And then I just sit down and just make something. Like even if it's just a couple samples, you know, I'll just like a lot of times I'll just make a sample, throw it to the side. I learned that from Illmind, so you can just go back to it later, and you have you know, when an artist comes through, you can just open up that and build the beat around it, since the hard part's already out of the way.
Right.
Because drums are easy, and you can just get the feedback from the artist right there.
Dope.
But I'll do that around like to 1 or 2, and then I'll eat. And during that break, I'll you know, post on Instagram, because I try to keep my presence up on there. And I will reach out to people, just go through hashtags and you know, slide into people's DMs and try to make connections. You know, that's what I'm doing all the time. Like I did it to you. That's how I meet people. You know, people are always asking me like, man, how do you know this person and this person? Like, how do you know all these people? Like, I just talk to them. You know, I just reach out to them. Awesome. Gary Vaynerchuk, you know, he was like, you know, just literally. I think he said like 100 people a day. That's kind of extreme, but
wow.
I try to do like five people a day that I don't know at all, and just try to start a conversation with them.
That's awesome.
But then I get back to music for a few hours, and then after that, if I have like a consultation or some website work I have to do, or some graphic design, because I also do that. I'll spend a few hours doing those things, you know, because that's, you know, it's kind of hard to do music full time, but I felt like having those extra revenue streams would help me.
Right.
And then I'll later in the day, I'll, you know, start catching up with people, so I just can keep up relationships, call people up, and, you know, try to get artists to come here, close, you know, build relationships and close some sales, because that's important too.
Yep.
So yeah, and that's about it for the day.
Okay. That's a full day, man, and it's all music. I love that. I want to
actually. Oh, sorry, man.
Go ahead.
I actually forgot to mention in the beginning of the day, before I do anything, I might sometimes I do it at night before I go to bed, is I'll write down what I need to get done that day. So that is like on a whiteboard. I see you have one back there. So yeah, that is so important to me. Like if I don't have it written down, it will not get done. So that is just something I have to do.
Well, my day. No day is super typical, but they all are similar. And most of my days function off of whiteboards, Evernote, Trello, and any other scheduling app. Okay. So the night before I go to sleep, my day actually starts the night before. I cross off things on my whiteboard that I accomplished that day, and I also make my schedule for tomorrow. So usually when I wake up, I try to wake up around 7 or 7:30. Okay. And I usually text back and forth with my assistant just to find out, you know, what's going on today, admin wise, and where are we at from the loose ends from yesterday. After that, I'll come into the studio, check the board, check out my schedule, make any calls that I have to make. I try to answer my goal is to answer at least 20 DMs and respond to at least 15 comments every morning.
Wow.
Sometimes I get them done, and sometimes I don't, and they really back up. But I want to make sure I do that occasionally throughout the day if I can, but I make sure I at least dedicate some time in the morning to do that, just to reach out to people that may have hit me, and also to check out random producers. Okay. Like I'll go to random feeds and just give producers just hey man, good job, or that beat is crazy, or nice, whatever. Okay. After that,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but is there a certain platform that you like to do that on, social media platform, or is it just across the board, all of them?
It's across the board, but I mainly focus on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, I'll come in and I'll fire up the computer and fire up all the machines, and just go down the list, whether it's working on a product, whether it's finishing some songs or a track that I have to do. And that I do all of those things in 1 hour blocks with 30-minute rest in between.
Okay.
Yeah, so I make sure everything is scheduled out to the minute, and I don't deviate from that schedule. If I do, it throws me off. I go crazy. I'm a bit OCD when it comes to that. So, and that's it. Usually the whiteboard ends at about 9 o'clock. Somehow I find myself still going to about 3 or 4 o'clock sometimes. But it's really about sticking to a schedule and using these tools that are available to you to help you keep your discipline and help you stay on track, because that which gets measured gets managed, as we all know.
Nice.
So, yeah, I really try to just stick to the script, as they say.
All right, we are back. You guys just heard the segment Typical Day, what some of these producers do on a day-to-day basis. And you guys heard from Crucial Keys, from Black Cloud, from DJ Static, from Sound Oracle, J2, formerly known as J2, now known as J Lee. So common theme, whiteboards. All these guys have whiteboards. They're super organized. So if you guys don't got a whiteboard, definitely get one and write everything down. But this next segment is called Secret Weapons, where some of the producers reveal some of the secret weapons that they have in the studio. You guys take a listen. Maybe you guys can apply some of their secrets and get some of the same results as them. So here we go.
So I guess you could say that it's my voice. So a lot of people be like, your voice, what do you mean? I actually sample it a lot. A lot of people don't know that. So sometimes they'll be like, oh, that pad you used is awesome. I'm like, in my head, like, that's my voice. But yeah, that pad I used. So I sample myself a lot. And it works.
That's some secret weapon. I don't know if I have a secret weapon, man. Like really, I think my secret weapon for me is being able to play all the different instruments. Okay. Actually knowing how to play different styles of music. You know, from bluegrass, country, rock, jazz, R&B, like just knowing those different styles of music, it kind of like gives me, a little bit more edge, because shoot, you can flip so many different songs just by playing different styles of music. Right. A lot of people using the same chords, but the rhythm patterns and stuff like that are different. So it's kind of like, I just gave away my secret. There you go. Intertwining those different types of music and, knowing how to do it, on different instruments.
It's a plug-in Transient Master.
Nice.
One day, I remember I did a beat camp and Illmind was there giving advice on like how to make a drum sound bigger than they are. That's like he swore by it. He swore by Transient Master. So I was like, check this out. And yeah, ever since then I've been using Transient Master.
Okay, that's what's up.
I'm looking at a few now, but I would say the biggest one is tape. I use tape, like actual reel-to-reel tape.
Dope. Okay.
Yeah, I have a few reel-to-reel machines in here, and just from coming up, I came up on tape, and the quality at the time used to piss me off so bad. and when CDs came around, I was like, "That's what I'm talking about."
Right.
But I found over time, after sound became digital and very pristine, it started to sound sterile to me. And it wasn't until I went back into my roots of putting things on tape that I really got excited about sound again, and it gave sound that characteristic that I really love. So yeah, I still use tape to this day on 80% of the stuff that I make.
Oh man, I had to think about this because I saw, like you said, you sent the list of the questions, and I was like, do I really want to say that? But you know what? At the end of the day, even if I tell y'all what I'm using, you're not going to use it the same way I would use it. Right. I'll say, if I had to give one thing, and this ain't really a secret, but everybody uses, well, they should be using, you should have Native Instruments Contact, man. Have Contact in your library. And the reason for that is because Contact is a library within itself. So before I was using Logic, I started in Reason. Reason, using Reason since Reason 4. Yeah. Now 3 flying, Reason 3.0. Okay. And they have like, I guess they would call it like it's like refills and Reason refills. So it's like you can they only have like the NNXT, if you're familiar with it, the Combinator. There's only so many things that they have to choose from. It's just sounds you're loading into this particular device. Okay. That are all sounds from all over. So when I found out about Contact, and I found out it's just a host to so many different sounds, I was like, I'm using Reason now. Right. So it was like that home feeling. It's like you went away to college, you come home, and you're like, oh shit, my room's still the same way I left it. Like, it felt like home. I'm like, yo, this is dope, B. Like, they got all type of sounds in Contact, man. It's about what libraries you put in that shit, man. Even if you Native Instruments Complete, like, you have so much shit in there, man, like from all over the world, sounds from every type of corner and arena you could think of. Then you got independent third-party people like Studio Link VST. That's a great site. They make people work, man. Like, you go there and get incredible sounds that you can do so much with it. And then they might have a kit that's like trap kit. I have fucking trap sounding kit. I'm not gonna make a trap beat. I don't want to make trap beats. You know what I'm saying? But the way I make it be different. Dope. So but Contact is open. Like, I have so much other stuff happening inside of Contact. Inside of Logic. But like, I can't picture the last time I made a beat that did not include Contact to some extent. Dope.
All right, Not So Secret Weapons. I hope that you guys check that out. I mean, there are all kind of different weapons up in there, a wide variety of weapons. You know, you got, first off, you had Abstract Minor from Boston talking about her voice is her weapon. Music Man Ty talking about, just the fact that he can play instruments in any genre, that's his weapon. Then Soultronic, Transient Master, getting those drums to knock. Then you got Sound Oracle talking about just reel-to-reel tape, giving them that grungy sound. And Relevant Beats with Contact, which we should all definitely have in our arsenal. So, man, you guys definitely apply those. I know I am. I'm trying to learn different genres of music so that I can be like Music Man Ty. But yeah, this next segment is books. And if you guys know, I'm just as passionate about books as I am music. I love reading books just to educate myself and to see myself grow and progress. You guys should definitely be doing the same. I urge anybody to do that. And if you guys don't have any resources to books, definitely go to beatsbooks.com and go get a free book. It is so worth it. just to educate yourself. But this next segment here, you guys will be hearing from some producers that have tons of suggestions on books. I suggest that you guys definitely go cop those books and read them. All right.
Every producer, not a book for just producers specifically, but I say like a book that I read for human beings. And I read this. It's called Outwitting the Devil. My buddy let me borrow it, and I didn't give it back. Napoleon Hill. He wrote the book.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. He wrote Think and Grow Rich. So I just Outwitting the Devil, but it's not really like a religious book.
Right.
It's more like saying how talks about how the devil is just like a negative energy, like a negative energy. You just talk about like how to like avoid taking like pitfalls in life. It's really cool. It helped me a lot get through things.
Man. That's one of my favorite books. I think I like it more than Think and Grow Rich. Man, you should. Oh yeah, I haven't read it, but I've listened to the audio version. You should listen to the audio version on YouTube because they have like a devil demonic voice speaking. So yeah, man.
Goosebumps. I'm with
you. That's two books. Two books I got. One's called The Secret. I don't know if you heard about that, but yeah, that was recommended to me by my brother, who's a big inspiration of mine as well. He was like, "Yo, get this book." So I got the book, and honestly, it's called The Secret, right? I can't remember who it's by, but just search The Secret. Honestly, that shit changed my life. That changed my outlook on life from a mental perspective. Not mental as in like I'm insane, but like from a I don't know, like a spiritual perspective.
Right.
And that shit works. Honestly, read it and believe it, because that shit works. I've done it myself. Like, honestly, that book changed my life. And then also, I read The Alchemist.
Yeah.
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Get that as well. Honestly, get those two books, read them, believe them, take them in, and I promise you, you know, if you use them, oh man, I promise you, it will up your game. Like, that shit just changed my outlook on life, honestly, and I feel so lucky to have read them. So honestly, that's two books I can't recommend enough. Do you know what I'm saying? If anyone takes anything away from this, it's those two books. Get The Secret and get The Alchemist. Get those two books, read them, believe them. Like I said, read them, believe them, and good things will happen to you.
The Bible.
Dope. Okay.
Definitely, you want to spend some time reading that. It's probably the greatest book ever written, hands down. The number one selling book every week, but they don't post it because it beats every other number one book that we hear about.
Right.
Look it up, research that. But besides that, just the books, like when I was really trying to learn what production was, is the books, everything you should know about the music business was a really important.
Is it Passman?
Yeah, and you know what? I actually got a chance to meet them at the ASCAP events too.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that book was really, because it really covered a lot of things. Like the whole scope of the business was kind of in that.
Right.
So you can kind of get a good feel. And the thing about that book, I was reading it, but I really didn't understand it until I started going through the steps.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you go to school, you learn these things, and you feel like, man, I just don't see how I'm going to be using this. But then keep going on that journey, you be like, oh, that's what that was on page 265 or whatever.
Right. But that's cool, though, because you have the book and you're able to go back and reference it whenever you get into a situation, you know.
Right.
So that's dope, man.
Yeah, I have a couple more. I want to suggest you might want to producers. You might want to get Timbaland's book, The Emperor of Sound.
Nice.
And then I also want to plug my guy Jay Rhodes' These Beats Ain't Free book.
Nice.
He's a producer in our local scene who is really taking off. Things are taking off really huge for his movement of These Beats Ain't Free. I mean, I travel from city to city, and I'm seeing his shirts. I'm seeing the books. Some of the institutions, the music institutions, have started to make it a curriculum. I think he's actually teaching classes now.
Nice.
So big ups to Jay Rhodes. Super
Yes.
proud of you. And I ran into him at the airport, and I said, "Yo, I got to get one of your books right now. I need you to sign it."
Dope.
So I'm super proud of him. Again, another book that I'm going to recommend. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but he's the homie, Jay Hatch. This book is just coming out, How I Left My Job and Made It in the Music Business. How I Made It in the Music Industry. For those who don't know who Jay Hatch is, he's one of the founders, original founders of iStandard Music, which is a great, big, huge tool for producers to get out and showcase and meet all kinds of people. I love their events because like they just have so many people there that you can meet and network with. So he's finally put all of this information that he's been retaining in, his brain, and it's out there. I think it just got released. If it hasn't, it's coming out soon. But I'm sure if you Google it, you'll be able to get those answers pretty quick on that. So definitely look for that book. I just want to plug them because I know those guys personally. I know their hearts, and I know they're passionate about what they do. And they've actually, we've been blessed to get that stuff in the book form from them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm gonna say actually, I got these right next to me. Always, I got the Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Nice.
Dig is the Beat Game, and then Mark Echo's Label.
Okay.
That one, like that. Yeah, Mark Echo's book, that was like that completely like made me believe like I was on the right track, and I was like, yo, it's only gonna get harder, so you might as well just buckle down and get ready. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you want, then you gotta grind, because as they always say, if it's easy, then everybody would do it. So that's why I realized like it's never gonna be easy if I really want it. So what I want is everything in everything in the world. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a tough challenge, but I'm with it. I'm ready.
Oh shoot. Man, there's a lot of books. Like music books or just in general?
In general.
Ooh, shoot.
Like it could be music related, but it doesn't have to be.
All right, let me pick a music related one and then one that's not really music related.
Okay.
Music related, one that's dope is the autobiography of Quincy Jones. I think that's sweet.
Okay.
There's another one. Non-related. I think Purpose Driven Life is a really good book.
Nice. Okay. I've heard a lot about that one. I haven't read that book.
Yeah, it's just finding your purpose, in life, man. So it might open your eyes up creatively too.
Oh man, yeah. This one's a hard one because I read a lot, and so I have a lot of books. So is it okay if I give you a few?
Man, give me as many as you want.
So first of all, the Bible.
Okay.
That's I saw Fouché said that too, but yeah, the Bible definitely a great source of inspiration and just a good book to go back to in general. The One Thing, I forget who it's by, but it's called The One Thing. It's kind of it's also like a refocusing. Helps me refocus. The 4-Hour Work Week, that one opened up my eyes to like the rat race in general and like how society is broken in that way. The 80-20 principle, I like that one too. It gives you good insight on how you can optimize your workflow. Nice. And I'm currently working on The War of Art.
Okay.
And that so far I'm liking that too. So yeah.
Yeah, James Allen, As a Man Thinketh.
Nice.
That's a good book to read.
Yeah.
And also 48 Laws of Power.
Nice. Okay.
I think everybody should read that book. Because everybody try to take a page from that book and use it in the music industry. But if you read that book too, you'll be well aware of what's going on, and you know how to kind of counteract with that.
Right.
So I definitely recommend the 48 Laws of Power.
It was, if I had to talk about an industry book, it was that Donald Passman business book. But I can't even say that to nobody no more because that's no longer relevant. It's like we live in a different world, man. It's a different breed. You're talking about streaming counting as downloads and people get paid off streaming. So I think that your book, everybody's book, is the internet. Google is your book.
Dope.
If you want to know the answer to something, and you're like, how can I make money off streaming? Okay, Google. How do you make money off of online streaming? What is publishing? what is royalties? How do producers make money off of royalties? You know what I'm saying? Like, Google's your book, man. Yep. Google is the best book ever made.
Oh my gosh, a book. Well, I'm actually I started reading the 48 Laws of Power, and it's a book called 3D Negotiations.
Okay.
Because as a producer, you need to know, like, and the book actually breaks down, like, who you need to start speaking to. So say if I have a goal to get to talk to, let's see, who's a big name? Well, say I want to talk to Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I go as the little people that I gotta connect with first?
Right.
This could be just like Joe Small on the street.
Right.
Joe Small knows Diddy's bodyguard, and the bodyguard sleeps with Diddy's secretary.
Right.
So you become friends with them, and they connect you with, you know, people, and you work your way up the ladder that way. So that's what that book's about. So that's like really cool, because most people don't think strategy like that.
All right, I know that last segment was long as hell. We had damn near everybody up on there, including the Kraken, Flip Jackson, 14KT, Abstract Minor, Big Kid, Relevant Beats, J2, DJ Static. I may have left somebody off, I'm not sure, but man, I just put so many people on here because, man, all these titles that they listed were really, really good books that I thought could help you guys out as producers, as entrepreneurs, just to get your mind in the right mind frame. We have books on there like The Bible, Outwitting the Devil, Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business, Timberland's book, The Emperor of Sound, from the homie Jay Hatch, How I Left My Job and Made It in the Music Industry, The Secret, The Alchemist, The Beat Game by past Beats Grinding Life guest Digga Daryl Branch, The Autobiography of Quincy Jones. We got so many on here. The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and then Relevant Beats said Google. You know, Google is always one of the best resources out there. So, you guys, I just want to urge you guys one more time, because, you know, readers are leaders, and I know that, you know, you guys don't have time to open up a book when you're in the grind, when you're trying to do, you know, music production, but you guys do always have headphones on, and so with Audible, you guys are able to listen to books now. And so that's what I do. I take advantage of that, and I've read just about all of these titles on here. So you guys go to beatsbooks.com and go grab one of these books that the guest just rattled off, and go pick it up for free. Go listen to it. It's no charge to you or anything. Listen to it. If you don't like it, if you don't like the service or anything, then you can definitely discontinue it. But all right, y'all. Well, this next part is must-have plugins.
And there's a lot of mixing stuff, but dude, I know like Omnisphere. I know like everybody has Omnisphere, so I feel like at this point, if you don't have it, just get it because everybody has it.
Yep.
That's pretty much like an all-in-one. Or Omnisphere or Contact. I gave you that's two.
Dope.
I think every producer should have Waves, the Waves plugins.
Dope. I agree.
They're very standard, but like they're very helpful. Like they're very helpful. Very helpful.
Bro, like I said, this Fab Filter shit, like
nice.
Excuse me. Yeah, man. Like I think a lot of people are scared of, especially like beginning producers, because for me, like I didn't know what EQing or compressing was for like half my career. Like I just didn't do it. I just, you know, I got comfortable with making records or making beats and then just sending it to somebody else to make it clean, you know, to clean it up. But what that does is a lot of times it doesn't. Your idea isn't translated well a lot of times. Right. So, you know, it's better to learn what, you know, these buttons do. That's why I said I'm a big fan of like going in and figuring out what everything does. But Fab Filter is like really dope, man. Like I I don't know what it is. Super easy. Like
yeah, it is.
It's really easy, and it's like it gets the job done. You know, if I don't want this low end here, I can just literally click here and drag it to where I, you know, like it just made it super easy for me.
All right, I thought that those were 3 great recommendations by 14KT, Nate Coop, and Sound Junkie. I mean, Nate Coop said Omnisphere. Everybody has Omnisphere, like he said. I definitely use it in my production. Almost everybody, most people that come on this show recommend Omnisphere as their secret, not so secret weapon. And Sound Junkie and 14KT went with sound editing program, Waves, which is the industry standard. And then you also got Fab Filter. Tons of other producers have mentioned that, including Focus, 3 Dots. So, all right, y'all. Coming up next, we got album recommendations. What are some of your favorite producers listening to? What are Beat Grind and Life guests listening to? You'll find out right now.
Stevie Wonder, The Secret Life of Plants.
Okay. Nice.
One, it was ahead of its time. Like, a lot of people are familiar and a fan of what's the dude? This gonna bother me. He recently produced on To Pimp a Butterfly. He has that it's like Thundercat and
one of his main producers, right?
He got
Soundwave?
his own. No, he got his own channel on Grand Theft Auto too. What is his name? That's gonna bother me.
Man.
Oh my God, it's killing me.
We're gonna find
Flying
out.
Lotus.
Okay, Flying Lotus. Okay.
Flying Lotus. So just imagine Flying Lotus and Ant-Man Wonder, and I don't know, those type of people, that the geniuses of music. And it's just a full album of experimental sounds, but at the same time, it makes sense.
Right.
Of course, in piano, it's the best album. Like, it's awesome. Still to this day.
Wow, what's an album? I would definitely say Songs in the Key of Life. You know what I mean? I think why? Because of variety, and as I said, it's a great mixture between synthesized and electronic instruments and acoustic instruments, and songs that fit all moods. And and it's a double album, so you have a lot of range, and a lot of that stuff been sampled. And if you're looking for inspiration, you know, that's a great place to start for producers and songwriters and musicians. You have something for everything. You know what I mean? So I would say everybody needs to listen to that. I mean, can I cheat and give a little, add a little more? I mean, there's so many great albums that you can listen to depending on what you're looking for. And pivotal albums, I mean, where you go from Dr. Dre's The Chronic to like RZA into the Wu-Tang. I mean, like Nas Illmatic. I mean, it's just like there's certain albums where like, okay, just throw it on, absorb it, and try to understand what was happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you know, as time goes by, you're like, oh yeah, I heard this, but you got to listen to what was happening and the time that it happened.
The time, and
right.
Try to feel the impact that it made at the time too.
At the time, and that's what a lot of, you know, we get caught up in. We get so much into like, you know, oh yeah, I heard this, but not really understanding why it was so much hype.
Right.
You know, because as time goes on, same thing. Things get better. Things get more advanced, and you'll like overlook certain periods. You know what I mean?
I'll say Dr. Dre's 2001.
Okay, nice. That's a great recommendation, man. Okay,
yeah. I recommend that, and I also recommend Dilla's. I forgot the name of that album. There's an album Dilla came out with. His first album that he came out with.
Welcome to Detroit? Welcome to Detroit?
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Nice. I'm liking both of those. Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, my taste is different from everybody else. But for me, like, I think every producer, I say Dre because that album right there to me, like, was sonically, everything was on point.
Right.
Warm. It had that analog kind of feel to it. Like, great.
Nice. And why Welcome to Detroit?
Dilla, because Dilla was different. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I like it, because most of the records that he used, that he's like, first of all, he replayed that Think Twice record, and to me that was marvelous. That was just impressive to me. And then there's certain samples in there that I know that he did a good job flipping.
Oh my gosh. All right, so where do you get these questions from? Who's your assistant? I need to talk to her. Tell him.
Man, the wife.
Wow, okay. Pretty good questions. And it depends on which era. Like, I like studying eras of music. Like, even the classical era, you want to go and study some Bach, Beethoven, Chopin. You want to like jazz, Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis. Any of those great Bird.
Right.
I also studied jazz at UNT, the University of North Texas. So, man, my musical palette is deep. So I really don't have like one album.
Okay.
I would suggest like era. So pick an era, study music from it. Also, learn to master an instrument producers. Golly, man, like, can you imagine a jazz or just any musician not knowing the scales? They would never be able to play a song.
Yep.
So, gotta go study something. You gotta grow. You can't just press buttons. I'm a button presser.
Right.
But before I was a button presser, I learned the basic functions of an instrument, and it really helps when I press buttons. So that's a gem I'm just happy to share today. And
thank you.
I appreciate no stones thrown back at it, about it, because a lot of guys, they can care less. I know the era we are in. That's fine. I embrace the technology, all of the great things that are being discovered. But man, you got to take some time. Even people like Dr. Dre, I remember reading where he went back and started studying like piano, the arrangement, because he knew there was another level.
There we go. Really another level.
If you really care about your craft and you want to be around for quite like a very long time, you might want to keep that in mind, because eventually things will change, and you never know where it's gonna, like, the opportunities will come from. So as I was being trained as a percussionist, a drummer, a musician, like I saw the value of them wanting to train me on playing timpani, playing marimba, playing congas or congas, is it? However you want to call it, like any of those instruments, like learn how to, the chimes, like any of that stuff, man, like just gong.
Right, nice, wow.
the triangle.
The triangle.
Tambourine. When I would compete in high school, I had a tambourine piece where you had to take it and hold it and roll it with your thumbs and and there's notes.
What?
That you actually tap, play, and you roll and you shake. Like,
damn.
Yeah, it gets, that's what I'm saying. There's levels.
Tambourine's a little deeper than I thought. That's dope.
So
I was just gonna say, I'm glad that you said that, man. That there's levels, because I was gonna say, even if you're a great button presser, imagine where learning an instrument can take you from there. And so, like you're saying, it'll take you to a whole nother level. It'll expand your sound.
Whole nother level. You know what? I think I got off a little bit. Let's see. Anything that Michael Jackson is on, study his albums, because sonically they sound amazing. Anything Dr. Dre he produced sounds amazing. And of course, arrangement and songwriting, like with Michael. Even go study the Beatles albums. Please listen to those, like Pink Floyd. Listen to those albums. The Who. Listen to those albums, what they're doing. I know a lot of times they were high, but I'm not responsible for that. the music I can still
appreciate.
I can still appreciate it.
And it wouldn't even be the same without them being hot.
I was thinking about that. Like some of the music, you can just hear. Like, man, I know they were just high on that part. Like you can listen to it. It's like there's no way they were sober.
Right.
Some of the music, they should just put it in a drunk and high category. Like, have its own category. And, it sounds angry, it sounds dark. Because you can tell these guys are going through it.
All right, that was album recommendations. We had Charity, we had Crucial Keys, DJ Static, and The Kraken. What can we take from these producers' album recommendations? Well, for one, Stevie Wonder came up twice. And if you guys listen to Beats Grinding Life, you guys know Stevie Wonder comes up pretty often. So it might be worth it to check out his discography, especially Secret Life of Plants and Songs in the Key of Life. Songs in the Key of Life come up so much, so that is a must-listen album, I would say, for producers. And then also DJ Static said Dr. Dre's 2001, an album that we always hear on this show. The Kraken mentioned anything by Dr. Dre, so you guys definitely go check out what Dr. Dre has done. We heard Dilla, Welcome to Detroit, but we've heard so many recommendations for Dilla's albums, especially Donuts. But the answer that I liked the most was the Kraken when he said, listen for eras. Listen for eras. Listen to different music. Expand. Go for decades. Maybe hey, for 1 week I'm listening to nothing but the 70s rock or 80s rock, or maybe now I'm listening to 90s hip hop. I don't know, but I think there's a lot to take from those recommendations. So. All right, y'all. Well, next up we got this crazy question. If I lost everything, what would I do? If I landed on another planet with nothing but $1,000, what would I do? I love this segment just to hear what the producers have to say. But this question is for new producers, for people wanting to get into music production. What would you do if you just had $1,000 and you had no equipment, but you had a burning desire to become a producer? And also, what would you do if you're a producer and you lost everything that you had? How would you bounce back on your feet if you only had $1,000? So let's check out what some of these producers say. And yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, shout out Rev Shines. This beat is dope. Grimy with Conway on it. Man, one of my favorite songs of the year. Shout out you. Major props. Salute. Here we go.
I'll buy another iPhone. Get the Beat Maker 2 again. Start grinding and get on that Instagram and start grinding.
Dope. Okay. Hey, how much is that? Is a program? Is the app?
The app should be $20, but it might have went down.
Okay.
But $20 for that,
right.
It's a great app. I recommend any producer that that don't have too much money, that's just starting out, work with that, and then after that you can elevate.
It's 2017. I started GoFundMe.
There you go. Nice.
Hey.
There you go. Okay.
I have from there, and luckily my contacts are backed up in my email. Thank you, Google.
Oh, but you don't got no email. You're starting over from scratch.
What's life right now? Oh, well, GoFundMe.
Okay. That's what's up. Man, because I mean, you got a story right there. You got a sympathetic story that people will grab onto. And I mean, just telling them that you lost everything. You have nothing,
It's happened. It has happened.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, it's happened to me too, where, I've had a hard drive crash and lost all of my beats. So,
Me too.
Sound Junkie was saying something like that happened to him, where he got everything stolen. And he said that a lot of people, instead of doing a GoFundMe, I think he just told a few people, and like Illmind and Decap and a bunch of other producers just sent him a bunch of sounds. So.
Oh yeah, that was dope. And I was gonna mention him because I was about to say it happened, and that's the first person that popped in my mind. It went from him, and then it happened to Cadence. Then it happened to Heston Valley. He's a singer-songwriter, super dope.
Okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lesson right there. I mean, that's probably the most important lesson that we're going to talk about today is back everything up.
Back it up.
All right.
Oh man, I'm gonna first off tell you when I first heard you say this in the podcast, I literally was like, "Yo, this is the worst question anybody could ask." It's a great question, but it's the worst question anybody could ask. Because no one wants to think about the worst. We're all like, "Yo, we're not like it's a 1 in a million shot already." Like now you're telling us like we're gonna lose everything that we're for. Like,
right?
I was like, "Yo, like, and it's funny because I've dropped hard drives before. Shit, so it's like. So it's like I've been there and it's like, not saying that I've been that worse, like, but even still, like I just, sold my car, so I'm back on my feet and it's like, and it hasn't stopped me. I've been taking the bus to New York, you know what I'm saying? And still, using so it's funny because I hear a lot of people say this, like, I would use my network because that's what it's for. As much as I lost my contacts, I would get a bus to the next studio there. I would get a bus to D Block and show up there and be like not suggesting anybody do this, but it's like, I'd be like, yo, everything's gone. I'm here. I'll intern. I'll do everything. I'll go get the coffee. I'll go do whatever we need to do, and I'll work my way back. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just keep using my network to end up at like beat battles, to end up at shows and whatnot. Just a gem out there for other producers, artists, anybody. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, just networking. I would just use my network to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I own Reason, so it's like I have the license, so I would literally just go on the website and re-download my software, and I'd be right. I'd have to get a laptop, so it's like I would take 1,000, go and get a laptop on this list for used laptop. You know what I'm saying? Just something to get me going. Get me a MacBook, and I've seen them. I'm actually looking right now, so it's like they're not cheap. They're like $400 to like $1,200. To get a fully MacBook. So it's like I go on Craigslist, get that, re-download my Reason, and man, I would probably move to New York because I was living in New York actually this past summer, and I would just live off people's couches, and, God willing, and make my way back. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, that's a true story to me, man. Like I said, because actually it was this year. Okay. Beginning of this year. Like I said, I quit my job, just to help take care of my daughter. I was still doing music, but it's like all we had was like $900, and came out to Atlanta. Like I said, we prayed and fasted for like 7 days. On that 7th day, that's when I got the announcement. I heard the announcement that I won the Black Kids Volume 7, and the next day I got signed. Wow. So it's like that's a true story over here, man.
Wow, are you kidding? That's crazy, man. How all that came together like that, man. During your fast and everything. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right, there goes that crazy question. What if you lost everything? We heard from Stand a Man, Charity, Flip Jackson, and Fouché. Man, some crazy answers. The one I like the most, I think we have to, man, is Fouché. He lived it. He went through it. He had that experience. Except for he was $100 short. He said he only had $900, and man, he went through it, and look where he is now. Flip Jackson said he would, if he lost everything, man, he would just bust to New York. And he's kind of living that as well. He sold his car, and, he's going through it as well. So Charity, she said that she would do a GoFundMe. So, you guys can definitely take some of this stuff as advice, and just try to see how can you get back on your feet or get on your feet. So maybe GoFundMe is a possible solution for that. And also Beatmaker, Stan the man. He makes all of his beats, and he makes some fire ass beats on Beatmaker. Only $20. You can put it on your iPad or iPhone. He has it on his iPhone, but just listening to his beats, man, it's well worth the investment. Producers or guys out there listening that want to be producers, that want to be beat makers, if you don't have the money, there's really no barrier to entry. Like, there's no excuse. You can get Beatmaker on your phone, on your tablet, and get going, get to work. So, or programs like it. So, all right, y'all. Well, this just about wraps it up. This is the end of the show, pretty much, and we always leave with advice. And so, I'm gonna just leave it there. We're gonna have tons of advice because everyone that comes on the show always drops gems, always gives us knowledge. So it's gonna be heavy loaded here. Get your notepads, get out your phones, whatever you guys write, take notes with. This is the time to do it. So, all right, here we go.
I always be at this DITC beats per minute. Mm-hmm. They have a thing in New York that has a beats per minute. It's hosted by Drawzilla, and every time I get called to play some beats, because they always have a guest producer. I met Havoc, I met Kid Capri, I met the Bomb Squad, I met a lot of producers.
Wow!
And every time I come in, Lord Finesse, Showbiz, they always give advice. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guest producers always give advice. They give a lot of advice. Just keep grinding, keep doing what you got to do, and just go out there and make heat and just grind. That's what they always say when I go to these beats per minute.
I think the biggest thing is making this a full-time effort. There's only so much you can do when you do this part-time.
Right.
And and that's why, I brought something up on my Instagram page where I made a video just talking about part-timers, and it's not, I don't want people to get confused. It's not, oh, you can't have a job. You can have a job.
Right.
You can do your 9 to 5s because you have to pay the bills. But what I mean is, when you clock out of that job, you better be doing something towards your dream. You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people think, oh, I'll just work on music on the weekends. Like, that's not how this works. Mm-hmm. Like, this is an everyday thing. And I get that everyone has responsibilities and things like that, but when you want something, you just make time. That's just how it is.
So I have like 2. So my first thing would be, don't let men talk down to you, because a lot of them would be like, oh, you're good for a female producer. Like, really?
What does that mean?
I'm good as a producer. So don't let them almost objectify that female part. So you almost, as a woman, you gotta not put yourself into that box as, I'm a female producer. You need to say, I'm a producer. And that goes into my next point. You gotta be very straightforward, because unfortunately, I deal with this actually a lot, is that guys come in with hidden agendas. So they might hit me up like, oh, hey, B, I want to work with you, but on the side, they're actually trying to holla.
Right.
So they're trying to mix business and pleasure, and I'm like, no.
Right.
So you got to be very straightforward with these guys. And it's like, it becomes hard for a woman because you don't want to be make it that they're like, oh, she's mean, I don't want to work with her.
Right.
But you also have to make it clear, like, this is, like, don't try to come with me with that side stuff. I'm not about that life. Mm-hmm. This is just music.
This is a business relationship.
Exactly. And, you got to be really clear with that. So that's my biggest pieces of advice. It does get annoying, because I get annoyed with it. Like, I just want to do music. Like, I can't even do a session because you think that you're gonna holla. Like, oh, she'll come through and I'll map to her like, hey, like, no, I bring my mom or I bring a friend with me, so you're not gonna be doing anything. And when I do bring those 2 people, the look on people's faces, they're so shocked. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Every time I go to a I Standard showcase or beat camp, I listen to the panels, and the best thing, I always hear great things from Focus, but the one that I heard S1 say is trust the process. And at first I was just like, I didn't understand it at the time. But like I told you before, going through setbacks and, just growing pains and learning who I am as a person and learning who I am as a producer, trusting the process is the main key. It's the key, the major key. It's the ingredient to the secret sauce, like I always say. It's that crucial. And I'm trusting the process right now. And like I said, I stepped out on faith. And
as far as like something for the producers out there, man, the three things I always say is like it's about prayer, positivity, and perspective. You know what I'm saying? And that gets you through anything, because your perspective, if you can change your perspective or your outward look on your situation, then that's like that's power right there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because nothing that is surrounding you, nobody or whatever situation you're in can deter, what you're aiming for. So I would say those three things, man: prayer, positivity, and perspective.
Greatest advice I've ever received. It was probably from a guy, I can't remember his name, but it was at a Who Sampled competition in London, which I did, and like the competition had finished, like I won it, which was dope, and then it had finished, and this guy come up to me. He was like a big guy with like an afro, like I just remember his afro was huge. And he come up to me and he was like, man, don't ever let no one tell you can't do it. Like straight up, he said that to me, like, don't ever let no one tell you can't do it. And I don't know, that was it.
It just
resonated with me. I think his name was Threshold. I remember he had like a badge thing on. I think his name was Threshold. But anyway, shouts out to him because he was like, don't ever let no one tell you can't do it.
Dope.
Literally, he just said that, and then he was gone like a puff of wind. Then I think he went somewhere else. But he was like, and just shook my hand, and I was like, thank you, man, I appreciate that. And then he bounced, and I was like, wow.
Well, it seems like that stuck with you. You definitely have that attitude of that you're gonna win. It doesn't matter what anyone says, because deep down that you're gonna make it, and you're gonna be one of the top producers in this game eventually.
Exactly. And I believe that with all my heart, honestly. And anyone listening, just believe that too. And then, like you just said, man, just what you just said was textbook.
Dope, man.
Winning's a mindset. Ain't more than that. It ain't a special power. It ain't. And like, I ain't even done nothing like, oh my God, like he's produced Kendrick Lamar, all these guys. No, I ain't done that. I ain't done none of that. But it's a mindset. I know I'm gonna.
Nice.
Because it's a mindset.
Yep.
Winning's a mindset, honestly. And if you can get your, mental, like, mental, like, game on point with your, belief and believing in yourself, then that's half the way. Then you're half the way there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. If you can get your mind game on point, your mind strength, then you're half the way there. And then the other 50% is just the hard work.
Dope.
And if you do that, you will be successful and you will be at the top. And that's the rules I live by, and that's what I'm gonna go by, and then that's what I believe, and that's what I'll do.
Man, there's a lot of pieces of advice that I've been given. I think that I don't think I have one, but taking risk. Don't be afraid to take risk. Never stop learning. Like, always be learning something. Like, never stop learning. Never feel like you're content where you are. Like, always feel like there's something new that you can add to yourself to make yourself better. And there's like a really short, like, Bible verse in Timothy that says, "Study to show thyself approved." And like, every time I read that, what it tells me is like, whatever you're doing, if you make beats, like study the producers that come before you, study equipment, study different techniques, study whatever. So like you become official and like you're doing, and like all that things that you learn, like not only maybe you might not go as far as you think you will with this knowledge, but you might be able to pass this knowledge on to somebody else that'll go farther than you. So just studying whatever you do, like just know it, like try to know it like the back of your hand. I'll say that.
Man, I have like great people around me. This been taking me a while to be able to like surround myself with like the right energy and stay there. So I always get so much good advice. I'm like daily from just people, just because I pursue it too. I would say just be one thing. Like, I know you gotta work hard. You gotta like work hard. You can be talented if you don't work hard. It's like it's nothing. It's not gonna happen. You have to work hard. You have to put in the time and the energy in this. But another thing is just be a good person, man. 'Cause being a good person just brings like good energy and good things to you. There's people in this industry that can be talented but aren't like personable, or just like it's an industry of people, so you have to be able to get along with people. People are gonna have to want to work with you, gotta
have good people skills.
Yeah, you have to, or you should. It's gonna be in your best interest to be able to work with people. That's what producing is. It's like making a song, is finishing a song with people, like however you gotta do it, but you gotta you gotta do it, like you gotta deal with people to make songs happen, or usually best stuff. So say like, man, just keep working hard and stay positive, be a good person, like be personable, like just like show love when needed and things like that, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Just keep building your dream.
I went on this tangent. So the advice that I would offer up and coming producers is, and it's a tagline of mine, is be different and be dope. And what that translates to is create your own sound, create your own lane. All great artists borrow, but they don't steal or copy.
Right.
So you create your own lane, and whatever your thing is, you just do that until it is the best it can be. And every day you just make that as good as it can possibly get, and then you show that to the world. But it has to be undeniably dope. And if you do that, you'll find that you don't have to be the biggest fish in the pond, and you don't have to get everybody. A fan base will form around you of people that are really into what you're doing, because anybody that's dope and very passionate about what they do, people will gravitate towards that. So definitely stick in your own lane, find your own sound, and just craft the hell out of it. Put in your 10,000 hours, master it, and then put in 10,000 more and double master it.
Best advice that I've received was from my bro Ryan Leslie. He told me that first impression is everything. And not only just in music, but just in life in general. Like whether you're going in for a job interview, or you're a music producer trying to, put out beats, or you're an artist putting out a project for the first time, you got to have that good first impression, because that could really kind of make or break any further opportunities that you may have potentially had.
Right.
I'm not a really religious guy. I guess I could say I'm more spiritual. But when I was going to church heavily, my mom was making me. I was young. There was this guy who kind of taught me about the idea of synergy. And then also he was a youth pastor there, and which was great about the things he taught us, because it wasn't just Bible stuff. It was stuff that, again, I was in church at like 16 and I'm 31 now, and this is what, resonated with me all these years.
Nice.
What he said is if you're trying to do something, make sure you surround yourself with people who are already doing it, or who are also trying to get there. So I mean, it's kind of harsh, it's kind of rough to say, but if me and you are in the same situation, I'm starting out and I don't know shit and you don't know shit, and I can't be surrounded by a lot of guys who don't know shit about this shit. I mean, because we all be like, you know,
because then you'll never know shit.
Yeah, right. We'll eventually get there, but I mean,
right.
Or you can play the smart game. I mean, you could start to, you know, build a network and, you know, start to reach out to people who are already doing it.
I would say, and it might sound controversial, you know, but me being from a hip hop background and understanding that this is what pretty much fueled the culture, and not only the culture, you know, make no mistake, hip hop fuels the whole industry, because even these big pop songs and EDM songs learn from hip hop with the sampling and the different things and taking the sounds and everything. But I remember reading something from Quincy Jones, one of my idols in the game, and he said, you know, is there a piece of work that you like and you love? So yeah. He said, well, copy it. Copy it. He said, because what's going to happen is you're going to learn what about it that inspires you. And you're going to figure that out. And you're going to do it in your own unique way. And there's really nothing new under the song. Every chord that was ever played, every melody that was ever sung, has been done already. The only thing that hasn't been done is you doing it in your unique way.
All right, Beat Grinders, that just about wraps it up. This is the end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some value out of this show. The greatest of episodes 21 through 40. Hope you guys got some gems. Hope you guys took some notes, wrote some stuff down, and I hope that it was enough to get you through the following week. So with that said, if it did provide you guys value, please share it. Share it on all social media platforms. You know how it is. I ask every week. Yeah, and I'm going to just leave it at that. So you guys keep making beats, keep grinding, and live life. All right, salute y'all. Peace.
Here at Beats Grinding Life, we want to thank you for listening to another episode. We want to know, what were your biggest takeaways from this interview? Just go to beatsgrindinglife.com and leave a comment on this episode's show notes page. Also, while you are there, go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just click the little button that says subscribe. If you could, please leave a rating and review. Rating and reviews are the best way to show your appreciation, because it helps more people find out about the podcast. So until next week's episode, keep grinding.